All right, so you want to know how to manage your emotions in a positive way. And why would you want to do that? Because you get freedom. Freedom is this thing we hear about all the time, but what does it actually mean? For me, it means being able to feel like I can say whatever I need to say in any given moment, to have such clarity with my words that I'm being understood and knowing that I'm making a difference. This feeling of standing naked in my soul and knowing that no matter what, I'm good. So how do we do that? How do we manage our emotions in a positive way so that we can create this future that feels so good to us? Well, we know that we can't control what's happening in our life around us. We know that we can only control how we respond. And it's not a reaction that we're looking for, and it's an actual response. So if this is true, then knowing how to really respond is key. Knowing how to pause in the moment of chaos to be able to respond. And there's another video I have that you can watch after this, how to find peace in the midst of chaos. What I'm excited to share with you today are my two favorite tools to take you deeper into managing your emotions so that you can get that freedom that you've been looking for. The first one is called the emotional scale. It's this understanding that just like a ladder where you have your bottom rung and there's all these rungs that take you to the top, our emotions are very similar to that. So if you can imagine, if we had this emotional scale that was like a ladder, the very bottom rungs would be things like fear, grief, depression, and powerlessness. As you can imagine, those moments in our lives when we felt really powerless is a really horrible place to be. There's nowhere to go. There's no down below that. That is the bottom. So when we are working through handling our emotions in a positive way, our goal then is to move up these ladder rungs, up these emotions, up this scale to get to the top where we've got like optimism and joy. So down here at the bottom, we've got fear, grief, depression, helplessness, powerlessness. Above that is something like anger, revenge, hate, and jealousy. So all of these sound like negative emotions, right? Like, I don't want to feel any of those. But stick with me for a moment, because imagine that if you were feeling angry, it would feel a hell of a lot better than feeling powerless. Because powerless, you don't want to do anything. You can't move. You might be paralyzed. But if you're feeling angry, you're in action. You're puffed up. You're going to do something about it. You're going to make something happen. You're going to put something in motion. So when we look at the emotional scale, anger is actually a better emotion than powerlessness. And that's the whole goal, is to keep moving up this scale. And if we look at emotions energetically, we can see that the vibration of something like powerlessness is way at the bottom and anger is a little bit higher. So as we're moving up this ladder, as we're allowing ourselves to feel powerlessness or depression, fear, grief, and we allow ourselves to do the healing, to work through these emotions in a positive way, not looking at ourselves and beating ourselves up for feeling it, but just allowing ourselves to continue to grow and to move and to let this move through us, we can move to something like anger, revenge, even hate, jealousy. And then what feels even better than those emotions are things like doubt and worry, or overwhelm, and even boredom. So all of these feelings moving up the scale, will help us manage our emotions in a positive way, knowing that each one of these emotions is helpful. So if we go from powerlessness to anger up to doubt and worry, we know we're getting better with our emotions. We know we're moving up that scale. We're starting to have that weight lift off of us as we continue to move up. And then at the top of this ladder, these wonderful, delicious, good feeling emotions are things like hope and eagerness and optimism and joy. And that's where we want to spend most of our time. So every day, managing our emotions in a positive way is all about getting up that emotional scale, moving up to the top the best we can in any given moment. And each day is going to be a little bit different depending on what's going on in our life. So I want to share with you one of my favorite games that you can play in order to help yourself move up that emotional scale, move from those bottom negative feeling emotions up into those more positive feeling emotions. And it's called What If? Usually when we're playing the what if game, we're thinking about everything that can go wrong. What if this bad thing happens? And what if that bad thing happens? But imagine if you could play the what if game to help yourself move up the emotional scale into the feeling of joy and optimism and eagerness. So I made this game up in my head one day when I was driving to a client's house and I was starting to feel nervous. I was starting to play the what if game of negativity in my head, going, oh, what if they don't like me? What if they don't like the job that I'm doing? What if they want to pick somebody else? And all of a sudden I thought, what am I doing? I'm amazing at my job. I'm amazing at what I do. Why wouldn't I think that they're going to love me? And then I thought, oh, that's a really good thought. So I started to play this game where I just asked myself all of these what if questions in a really positive way. What if they love the work that I'm doing? What if I'm the answer to their prayers? What if the tools that I teach them are something that's so easy for them to grasp that now they're sharing them with the other people around them? What if they're making a difference because of something that I taught them? What if this is just the beginning? What if this grows into something bigger than I can even imagine? What if this takes me around the world and allows me to travel and do things I never thought I could do before? And so you can see how your momentum and your feelings would just start growing in this game of what if. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter if any of those what ifs come true. You could say, what if aliens came down from space and gave me a magic wand and let me do whatever I want? The whole idea is to play the what if game with things that are going to lift your spirit and make your emotions rise up that scale. So when it comes to work, what if I get picked for that promotion? What if there's not even a promotion to be handed out, but somebody comes to me and says, you have been doing such a good job. We're going to create a position just for you. Oh, and what if they say, and we want this position to be consistent of all the things that you love to do. Forget everything you don't want to do. You just tell us what you want to do and we'll create a position for you. What if my income doubles? When it comes to love, what if I find that new relationship? What if I meet somebody who looks at me like I'm the only person in the room? What if I meet somebody and they want to travel the world and take me to places I've never been before? What if I find this new relationship and it's more than I can even think is possible for myself? When it comes to your spiritual connection, your religious connection, what if I have enhanced clarity that allows me to be divinely guided in every moment? What if my gut instinct gets so strong I know which aisle to turn down the grocery store? What if I am so clear in my thoughts and in my vision, I know exactly what other people are needing in any given moment? When it comes to your body, what if my body was stronger than it's ever been before? What if these pains that I've been feeling for a lifetime just started to go away? What if I had the increased resiliency and an energy like I've never had before? I encourage you to create your own what ifs that will allow you to rise up that emotional scale, to start to feel that freedom and that joy and that deliciousness of being able to rise up that scale, to feel those top emotions. I'm sure you can tell just by watching me talk about this, I'm getting excited. The back of my mouth actually starts to water when I get excited about something. It's like I just ate a really delicious peach and I want to make sure I get all the juice out of it. That's what can happen for you when you start to manage your emotions in a really positive way. And it's really funny, when we started doing this video, my producer asked me, hey, is there a TV show or a movie that you want to talk about that will kind of showcase somebody in a really great way with a lot of emotional intelligence? And it was really hard to find one, because I think in our society, we are groomed to think about the what ifs in a bad way and to look at the chaos, and we kind of get addicted to it. But it did make me think of a movie that I wanted to share with you, which is called Powder. And it's about this boy, when he's in his mom's womb, when she's pregnant with him, she gets struck by lightning. And what happens is this boy is electrocuted inside of his mother. She gives birth, but he's got so much energy coursing through his body that he's completely white and hairless. So he's just almost pure energy inside a physical form. So his dad comes in and sees him and says, "Oh no, that's not my son. I don't want him." And the baby is so self-aware that he knows what his dad is saying, and he knows what that means. So he's sent to live with his grandparents. They're ashamed of him. They're embarrassed because they live in a little town, and so they hide him away. But when he's 17 years old, they die. And he is found by child support services and taken to school for the first time. And he's met with all these kids who are looking at what they're calling a freak. They've never seen anybody like him before. They have no idea who he is or what he's like, and they're scared. But the brilliance of Powder is that because his vibration is so high, he can actually hear the thoughts of the other people. And because he knows it's not about him, he doesn't take it personally. And he can hear their thoughts. He knows that their thoughts are all based in pain, but he can see them for who they really are. And the reason I share this with you is because as you continue your journey to manage your emotions in a positive way, as you continue to elevate your own vibration, when you see other people in your life who are misbehaving, acting badly, saying things about other people, you're going to be able to have this clarity of vision that when you see them, you're actually going to be able to see the pain that they're going through and have compassion for them. And that's really one of the greatest gifts about having this emotional awareness and really making sure that you're managing your emotions, is so that not only can you be this light within your own body and keeping your vibration high, but you're going to be able to see that other people are just trying to find their way as well. And you will actually be a beacon of light for other people. You will inspire them to continue their healing journey, to finding their ways of managing their emotions in a positive way, all in the name of freedom. So I encourage you to comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe, like, do all those fun things, and watch the next video, how to identify and manage emotions.